Good morning, everybody. I'm very happy and excited to share with you this session. And I'm very happy to have these powerful guests with us today, Dr. Marco and his beautiful wife, Rachel, Giannecchini, and Sonia. They will be sharing with us their thoughts, their insight, experience, and tips on how to overcome inferiority complex. And I'm Dr. Florence Nisabwe. I'm a social entrepreneur. I'm the co-founder and executive director of Fondation Lance d'Afrique Burundi, a nonprofit organization that seeks to empower women and young girls through social entrepreneurship and leadership. So today we are going to talk about how to overcome the inferiority complex and why this topic. Beside the traditional obstacles that see for women's empowerment and development, I have realized that an inferiority complex uh, can affect every aspect of our life, our self-esteem, our personal development, and our leadership potential. As human beings, we can tend to be constrained by our backgrounds, including our upbringing and our inner belief, which are formed through our relation to the event we witness and the emotions they give rise to. An inferiority complex can be a serious limiting factor in our life if it is allowed to remain unchecked. It can have a negative effect on our lives and abilities at multiple levels, from micro to macro. There is also a significant external social development impact that can be observed from a leadership and decision making perspective. Further, an inferiority complex can negatively affect self-esteem, confidence, and personal development. In the long term, it can even have health persecution. Uh, we can also say that an inferiority complex is often only the first in a series of psychological problems. It can open door to insecurity, jealousy, and anger with low self-esteem, leading to a loss of confidence and subsequent failure to meet and achieve set goals and objectives. In effect, an inferiority complex can become a self-fulfillment prophecy. Uh, the results and be stagnation in the life and become habituated to living in a comfort zone, albeit one that may not appear or that comfortable to an outside observer. People who feel inferior often become sensitive to even constructive criticism and unwilling to listen to even the most and or logical advice. Anger and jealousy restrain people from seeking advice when it is clear that they are seriously in need of help. From a leadership perspective, this cocktail of negative emotion can be fatal to personal development at every level, from grassroots to macro. The insidious nature of inferiority complex and the risk they pose to our happiness and ability to fulfill our potential, it is important that we learn how to overcome this type of complex. And in today's online conversation, we have a unique opportunity to learn from Dr. Marco Giannecchini, as he shares with his tips on how to deal with and heal from an inferiority complex. He will be focusing in particular on addressing this challenge from a woman's perspective. And first of all, I would like to introduce Dr. Marco Giannecchini. Marco is an Italian MD, medical doctor by training, now based in Germany, and he is passionate about the neuropharmacology of happiness and of flow, which can be defined as the neuropsychology of optimal experience. He is the founder and medical director of the Flow Consciousness Academy, which offers worldwide masterclasses and online one-to-one coaching session on how to be motivated at a high performance level, experiencing happiness and purpose at work daily by creating a flow lifestyle. As of 2020, he is ambassador of Foundation Lab in both Germany and Italy. Now, he will share his insight on how an inferiority complex can affect our life, our self-esteem, our self-confidence, as well as our personal development and leadership potential. He will also offering practical advice on how to overcome such a mindset. A warm welcome to the talk, Dr. Giannecchini. We are delighted to have this chance to learn from you and understand how inferiority complex can take hold and how to prevent this happening. We are also excited to hear how a flow approach to thinking and living can build resilience against inferiority complex. Welcome. Yeah,
Okay, here's
Marco.
what I found.
Well, thank you very much, dear Florence, for having invited me today and for this very nice presentation. It's really a pleasure for me to join you on this show. I really feel blessed and honored to have this chance, and also for the chance that I got to address such an important topic of the inferiority complex, because it's really an issue that affects people, but especially women from all walks of life. And it can really strike at any life stage. And together with my wife, Rachel, we are confident that we can inspire and encourage many of the women listen to this show today who are probably wrestling with an inferiority complex and its impact on their lives.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. And yeah, I would like you to share with our audience um, or to help us to define an inferiority complex. Is it possible to define an inferiority complex? What are the key characteristics, and are there warning signs that people can look out for? Or inferiority complexes the same, or have you encountered different versions in the course of your life or your work?
Yeah, I think it's important to just to give a brief definition, just to have a common state of mind so that we know what we are talking about. I would say that so in many countries, this inferiority complex is more or less a psychological term that is used to describe those people with an intense feelings of inadequacy that is resulting in the belief that they are in some way deficient or inferior to others. And this inferiority complex may be brought up by the way of the person that was raised as a child, for example, being consistently compared in an unfavorable way to a sibling, or maybe by physical or mental limitations, or by experiencing a lower status of in the society, for example, being treated over a long time by one's peer due to belonging to a different race or economic background, gender, or sexual orientations. And this inferiority complex among women in societies really constitute a major issue that needs to be addressed. That's why it's very important that you have choose this topic for gender equality to be achieved, and also for a more sustainable relations between people and genders of all the world. So really a fantastic opportunity to speak about and offer also some solution.
Oh, okay. So from what I understood, uh, is there a kind of person that might have an inferiority complex, or are there common causes, or is each case unique? An inferiority complex is more prevalent among women, or we can also find it among other like men or boys. And do you apparently successful or high status women experience inferiority complex? And what are some underlying causes in a nutshell?
Yeah, it's very important to try to understand the common causes. And I would say that this inferiority complex occurs when the feelings of inferiority are intensified in the individual through repeated discouragement or failure. And so those who are at risk or for developing such a complex include people, for example, who show signs of low self-esteem or self-worth, or have a low status in their peer group. And they also may display some symptoms which are very similar to depression. And so the typical situation is, so let's take children that had in households where the parents are perceived as having an overbearing expectation, that this could may also bring to some inferiority complex. And just because this is an important topic and also very complex topic, I think that as I try to figure out which are the common reasons, which was your question, I think that the common reasons are basically seven. So the first is related to limited skills that maybe are linked to reduce educational opportunities. For example, maybe women have some talents, but just because they don't get these opportunities, they display a limited portfolio of skills, which is also related to the second possible cause, that is limited financial means. That means that if the family cannot afford the high school, of course, also the person is not able to self-upgrading with new schools, new skills over time. And so this inferiority complex can also be reinforced. And the third cause is for social or for educational reasons. This number three is lack of self-belief. The woman is just thinking that she is not enough, and she does not believe in herself. An important cause is very interesting. The fact that the woman is not feeling accountable for anyone else. So this is a very toxic situations, because it's self-esteem plus isolation. So the woman is just having a very bad life from the psychological point of view, but she is also isolated. So she is not able to get feedback from the environment. And over time, she does not realize that she's just becoming very, let's say, yeah, very bad persons, and or maybe also aggressive because she has this negative energy, and nobody is able to tell this to her. And the number five, I would say that, so it has to do with identity. So it could be that for some reasons you developed an identity. So society and education, school, the parents, they just force you to develop an identity which does not serve you, which is very typical. So, for example, you have to act in a specific way, but you are not like that. So the identity and your personality does not match together. And well, then I would say also when a common situation is when you have conflicted goals. For example, you have parents, you have a family that say you have to earn your own money, so you have to become financially independent, but you want, for example, to study and you want to become better, but you have to find a work because your family is expecting that you are bringing money at home, and so you stop your school just because you have the pressure to earn money. So, so I would say that these are the main causes that brings to this inferiority complex, in my perception.
Also, given all these limitation or these negative emotions, how does having an inferiority complex now affect a person's life? Are these effects cumulative, or are people aware of them? Can they pause, half, or reverse them? To what extent is recognition of the problem important in, let's say, in a leadership situation?
Yeah, this is also a very important question, because um, when speaking about inferiority complex, at the beginning, one can think that is something pathological, that is something negative. And I would say that this feeling is part of our evolution and of our psychological development process. So in other words, every one of us is experiencing a feeling of inferiority. So because, for example, we are children and we go to school and we see we have older peers, and we have the feeling that we need to be at that point, and we feel we feel inferior. So um, I would say that this feeling of insecurity could be, in a positive way, could be like a positive impulse that help us, stimulate us to become better and striving for development. But it becomes pathological, so it becomes to be something worse when this sense of inadequacy overwhelms the individual. So in other words, when it makes us feeling bad, and we are not able to develop our ability, and we're stuck in these beliefs, and we stop growing, and we get maybe we get insecure over time, and we are not able to move from this discomfort feeling, which is common to everyone. I had also the same when I was young in the school, and I had to have good scores. And at the beginning, my good score, I had not a good score, so I had to overcome this inferior. Again, it becomes pathological when it makes you stuck in a specific situation, and you are not able to improve and develop.
Oh, great. Um, we signal every time, uh, how can we unlock the potential. We encourage each other to dream bigger, to work harder, smarter, to achieve outstanding results. But given all that negative, again, emotions, it is clear that it is not easy to get from the point A to B with all those obstacles. So, how can someone easily learn to develop a new mindset, including self confidence? And how quickly can this be achieved? And are there any shortcuts that can be used to get there sooner?
Yes, yes. Well, I would say that the answer that I will give you can maybe put in few words. So the short answer to your fantastic comment is yes, there is a solution, and that's why I'm here. And I would say that uh, if I may say this, this is our mission on Earth, and I also include my wife because we have really um, the same wavelength on that. Now, my wife will comment this also from her side, but what I can give you, what I can tell you is, I've been working for many years in the neuroscience field, and so I learned and I understood that every one of us, no matters where you were born, no matters how your parents are, and so on, every one of us has the capacity to move from a life vision, so a dream of a perfect life, move from this vision into reality. We have all this pharmacological and neurophysiological structure and chance and potentials. And the problem is how to do in a practical way. So and my ambition is always to find, to create a system based on our brain, but which is useful and which is capable to be transformed in daily actions that brings that they led to new habits, and then you are the point where you want to be. And this means that everything is possible. And my, if you feel my passion, this passion comes from the fact that I know that this is possible, but because of these beliefs that we get, these wrong beliefs that we create because of society and so on, we need sometimes during our life, someone who can be like our old sister or older brother, who is just bringing us to that point, is supporting us. We can call this mentor, we can call it coach, but sometimes this process cannot be managed in the right way if you are alone. And that's why I'm here today to give a very strong message, to give really a message of hope, and I hope that we can motivate people. And I want just to make some general comments. You know, Florence,
Yes.
uh, I think we agree with that. Life is just so short. Yeah. So our life is just so short. And not only this, but you never get a second chance. So this is the natural principle. People think that they can live forever. Your life can just stop tomorrow just because you get crushed in an accident, or the airplane, when we will be able to fly again after COVID, you can have the airplane crash and your life can be over at any time. So I don't want to become too pessimistic, but just to say, this is your moment. I'm speaking now to all the women listening to us. And to the women, I say, it's time for you to find your voice. And we can work together to level up and create something that you are really proud of.
Mm.
And everyone has the right to be heard. Every woman has this right, but unfortunately, few develop these skills to share in an effective way their work with others. And we know that. But there is always a path from here to there, a path that allows you to find your audience and to find your own voice. And if I may say that because I'm a very deep admirer of your work, I would say that you have found that path and you are bringing the light in the world. And and I think that it's really important. And that's why I say again, don't forget what you are doing, and your work matters. Whatever you're doing in your life. And And if people would start to say, well, but what you are doing is just your hobby, this is not important, you have to say, it's not my hobby, this is my life. And at the end, if you're really putting a lot of hard work in that, you will transform this hard work in a fantastic masterpiece, and this will be your legacy for the generations to come, also when you will be not more on this earth. Because everyone is a creative genius, and being a creative person, it's a calling. So that means that everyone has this vocation, an inner voice, and needs to be heard. So at the beginning, maybe it's important to find your voice, which is probably hidden under a layer of dust and a layer of wrong beliefs that someone has put in your mind. And you have the chance to create magic for everyone that you want to serve, and you have the power to create a novel, to write the best book that people have ever read. You can create a TED talk. You can play piano. You can become a visual artist. You can become an entrepreneur, and so on. So you have the power. You have the creativity. But it's not only a matter of creativity. It's also a matter of, again, finding your voice, developing your craft, your craft, and sharing your ideas with others. And so someone say, well, I heard that you have just to wait for the mystical inspiration, something that arrives in the middle of the night. Don't believe that bullshit, because this is not enough. So there is no inspirational moment. There is a hard work that has to be done. Also hard work in the sense not only physical work, but intellectual work. And that's why I'm here to talk about that. For example, Albert Einstein said one day, genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. So don't wait for this magical moment, because it will never come. What you have to do is just to work on yourself. And we can do this together with you, together with the foundation, together with my wife. We can discover that the power that is laying dormant inside you. And I am happy, glad to share with you the tools to do that, so that you can create the work that you will be proud of.
Oh, great, powerful. So, in a few words, everything is possible. It's a matter of finding your purpose and sharing your idea, your vision with others. But most of the time, we women, we fear to ask for assistance, even if sometimes you discover that you have weakness somewhere. We don't really dare to tell other or our surroundings that we need assistance. So what advice would you give to a woman who wants to overcome and eliminate this inferiority complex? How should she go about it? And how will she know when she is succeeding?
Yes, well, again, thanks a lot again for summarizing and just picking up some good point of my talk. And technical question: do you think will be possible to share the slide that I prepared?
Yes, I did multiple sharing. I think you can go for it. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can. Mhm.
Can you share the slide with the 9 steps? Sharing the screen, because I think it's very helpful to have a visualization of this journey that starts.
Unfortunately, from my desktop, Nick, can you share the slide? Is it possible on your side?
Let me try. Which slide? Remind me which one you need.
There is a slide in the document.
Yes, just bear with me.
Otherwise, I can try to share the slide.
Yeah, try please.
From my. I try.
Results.
Sorry?
Walk from dreams to results.
Yes, yes, please.
Okay, let me see. I have it. Let me try. Okay, I'm going to try now. I think only the hosts can share. Oh no, hang on. Let's see. Do you see it now?
No. Okay, okay. No, it's
Now, yeah, it's coming. Yeah. Great. Okay, thanks a lot, Nick. Yes. So coming back to your important comment, Florence, what you said. So which will be the first point? And the first point is really just thinking that having this sense of inferiority is not a disease, is just something common, but it becomes something pathological if you just accept and if you don't make something against that. And I want to share with you now what I consider as a code for success in life, and I divided this in 9 steps, which is so if you want, this is a sort of tool, or is a journey, or is a system that it's very useful, not only to eliminate an inferiority complex, but really it helps you as a woman, it helps anyone to walk from your life vision into your best future self. And I want to go through these 9 steps, hoping that I can make every single step clear, understandable, and I'm also very glad to answer your questions if something will not be clear enough. So 9 steps, and I will now go through all the single steps. So the first step, which you see on the left side, is very important. Start with the why. Why means that you have to be, first of all, fully aware that every change and transformation starts with you, inside you. Don't think that the coach will help you. Don't think that your husband or your wife will help you. It's just you, the person, that can do that. So, and if you think that you are just a single person and you are maybe just a human being, I can tell you that you are like a drop in the ocean, and you can change the world. So what's something what Americans love to say, you can make the change, you can create an impact, and this little drop in the ocean can create like a tsunami wave over time of a positive change. And again, I mentioned Florence, that is for me really the best example when and I have in mind a person that has started to take the decision, and now I see Florence doing incredible things that for me are sometimes like miracles, and I think that she's a fantastic example for that. So at the beginning of the journey, what I want to say is, if you want to free yourself from this inferiority complex, it's fundamental. Really, I cannot say this. I cannot reinforce this too much. It's fundamental to explore why you are suffering this sense of inferiority. So that is, why have you not expressed up to now yourself fully as a woman? as you would have wished to do. For example, and it could be that your soul pain derives from the fact that you had to give up, for example, during your childhood, your ambition. For example, you wanted to be as a young child, you want to be a famous a book author, or you want to become an actor, and then you had to give up, or you have been forced to give up your dreams. And this sometimes, or in most of the times, happen when you are slave of your wrong inner beliefs. So these wrong beliefs are just basically all this voice that we have always in our mind, and are always whispering in our mind every day when we wake up in the morning. You can't do this because you are not good enough. You can do this because your parents don't want that. You cannot do this because blah, blah, blah. So these are the wrong inner beliefs that are conditioning yourself in a bad way. So again, it's right at the beginning, you have to start to deal with this why. And this is what we are also doing in my future workshop, where we want to help women, first of all, to identify these wrong beliefs and eliminate this in mental blocks, and just let them just simply fall away. And this will happen. So instead of accept them, you will find a way to disrupt, to leave behind these wrong beliefs and create new positive ones. And I have created some specific questions and tools to assist women in my workshop on that. So now the second part is number 2, is life vision. When we are dealing with the life vision, so try to imagine as you would be like a film producer, okay? And you are creating the script of your future life, of the life that you would like to have. So it's important at this stage, after you have identified why you want to be a different person, at the second step, you have to decide in a conscious and also in a very firm way that you want to have a new life. And this is not trivial, because if without this strong intent, things will probably remain the same. You have to decide consciously that you want something different, that you want to have a life which looks like a rainbow, with all the spectrums of things that you would like to have. And so again, your life starts in the moment where you take the decision to live this new life. So number 3 is the dream. So moving from in this circle, so when you have decided, yes, I want that, and with all the energy, when you stay in front of the mirror every day and you say, my dear, now it's over with this bullshit life that I had up to now. I want to live in a different way. So in the third step, you start creating a visual board that contains all the ideas of this future life. And you can do this alone, or you can do this with the support of a coach. For example, we will train this also in our workshop. So it's about creating a concrete vision of your future extraordinary life, of your future, and also of your future self, which is the person that you would love to be. So for example, being like a famous author, like is someone who is traveling all around the world to promote their books, and maybe becoming like Florence, so an important person, powerful lady that can change the world, and it's making incredible things with women or with their foundations. So now we move to the phase number 4, think. So what does it mean? Once you have described for yourself, once you have created the mental scenery, the mental landscape of your dream vision, you have to start to think about the next single steps to achieve those goals, for focusing on solutions and not on challenges. And so it's about activating your entrepreneurial genius, being creative and innovative. So for example, if you want to become a bestseller author, and you need maybe some technical tools at the beginning, the first step could be, okay, I subscribe for an online training on creative writing. Okay, nowadays there are many offers, and this must be a very concrete single step that you decide to do, and a step that brings you automatically to the manifestation and to the realization of your vision board. Now we move to the step number 5, and really I cannot stress enough how important the number 5 point is. That's why it's also in label with the red color. Feeling. I don't want, for example, in my workshop, I will explain which is the neuropharmacological importance of this point. But just for you now, for this audience, I want to say, this is really the magic point of this journey. Put in simple words, it means that once you have arrived at that point, so you have found your wife, you have decided to have a life vision, you have your visions board, you have already created some concrete steps in order to get to that life. When you arrive at the step number 5, you have to fill this new future as this will be already real. Yeah, I repeat again, you have to fill that new future as it will be already real. For example, let's keep the example. You want to become a bestseller author. That means that you have to start every day, your new day, just filling every morning when you are drinking your first cup of coffee, just feeling the enthusiasm and the pleasure. For example, just imagine that you will have the chance to speak about your new books because you are an author and you feel like an author, and you start to feel the emotion, the pleasure that you are getting from that feeling, and again, feel this future again as it will be already there and happens. Many people make this error and say, okay, I am a lawyer, and if to become a bestseller author, I have to go to the school, I need to create my blah, blah, blah. So it takes different steps, and maybe in 2-3 years, the people will realize that I am a bestseller. This is the wrong way. And the best way is just to ignore what the people are saying. You feel like a bestseller every day, and this is this has as a specific neuropharmacological importance. I don't want to go into details, but again, feel, get the inner reward, get the satisfaction. Try to imagine yourself giving, for example, a TED talk where you are speaking about your new book and getting the applause and feeling this wave of vibrating energy that is coming from the fact, and everything is mental, yeah, but it will happen. And just taking this reward from you and using this anticipated reward that your brain will create for you. So now there is a reinforcement tool, which is acting according to this future role. Again, it sounds a little bit like strange, it's like exoteric, but it's true and it works. So that means act according to this new role. For example, if you are acting in a new future role as a bestseller author, just speak in your community as you would be a bestseller author. Speak about the presentation, the webinar, about the books that you are going to sell. Speak and act, for example, every day as you would be that bestseller author. For example, go on LinkedIn and speak about your book. Also, if the book will be released in 1 month, just speak as you will be that bestseller author. The acting phase reinforce the feeling phase of in your brain. So and now the seventh path is improve. Of course, acting, you will have maybe some success moments, and these success moments will help you in increasing your belief and in the power of your voice. And you will learn to constantly improve your voice, and also maybe also become the voice for other voiceless women. So number 8, life, we know life is not always that easy. So I want to give you also here in this point the message: don't give up too early. Just try to resist, just to try to cope with the resistance of the environment. So probably your husband will start to say, what the hell? You have been a housewife till yesterday, and now you are speaking about new books and that you are a bestseller author. What the hell? Are you becoming crazy? Don't listen to that. Just resist, keep on moving. Just keeping on doing what you think it brings you to the next, and always closer and closer to your dream, to your future vision. And then finally, the number 9 is adapt. So that means that always continuously try to educate yourself and read, just take action and lean from the front, and take maybe also others people on your own journey. And so this is the system that I'm going to deal with in my workshop. And maybe as an additional comment on that, it's not all only about mind. Mind and body are like a unit. So that means that your mind is only so good as your body is able to support all your mental activities. That means that it's also very important to develop what I call a flow lifestyle. Flow is another big topic, but I don't want to go into detail. So this lifestyle means that you have to be physically, mentally fit as a woman. And if you want to become a leader, so that means that you have to take care also of what you eat. So eat healthy, make exercise every day, sleeping well, and also maybe if you want to meditate, this also help you in finding an internal coherency. And these all things have to be done daily. And again, I stress this point: daily is not something that you learn in the course and then you forget, and then maybe you make another course in 12 months. You have to you can create only a new lifestyle if you do this daily. And as a final consideration, remember again, whatever you're doing, it's about your story, it's about your life, and your story, your life always matters. It can be the story of the wife that is making something crazy, like, for example, write a book on cooking, or it can be the crazy story of a housewife who started to sing and is becoming a singer. Just every story of hope, story of resilience, of success will be helpful in the community, and will be, I think, helpful for everyone who is in your network. And so now, if I may maybe comment on our Consciousness Academy. So we have Florence and the Hair Foundation. We have created a workshop for women that want to make an impact with their work. And I'm really proud to announce that thanks to the inspiration that I've got from Florence and from her foundation, and on behalf of my academy, I'm proud to announce that we will offer in the future an online workshop, which will be about 1 hour and a half. And we will communicate this workshop very soon. It will be on a Friday, so after 6 p.m. Central European time, with a separate online follow-up session, which will be done via Zoom, like today, of 1 hour. So the first part will be 1 hour and a half, and then we will have a follow-up session of 1 hour to speak about the progress and answer some specific questions. So the main objective of this workshop is to use this journey that I described today, so going through all this process step by step to help women to reduce suffering caused by this inferiority complex and have the chance to have finally the life that they have dreamed about. And if you are interested, you can send an email to my email account, or also informing Florence, and she will then collect all our requests. And I will tell maybe some technical details at the end of our conversation later on. Sorry for this long contribution, Florence, but I think it was for me important to explain this chart in the best way I could.
Thank you so much, Dr. Marco. I really don't have enough to say. It's really, really powerful. And I can say that women who are listening and those who will really listen to this presentation, I can say that their life will never be the same again. At this point, I can summarize your presentation in 5, 6 words. Think beyond your, no, find your why first. Think beyond your limits. Bring your future into the present. Never give up. Take care of your body, health. Create a new lifestyle. Put yourself first. I think this is very important in every area of our life. When we want to start any new venture, we need first to know why, and also we need to work through our purpose. I think that the workshop will be another session, a transformative session, and also informative. So, all that being said, can you give us quick tips on overcoming inferiority complexes, positive steps that people who are listening can take right now or tomorrow morning to start seeing positive changes in their life immediately?
Yes, and I do this with pleasure, because my ambition is not to be a lecturer in an academic word. So I don't want just to speak, but I want to make people work on their transformational journey. So my 5 quick tips are the following. So first of all, it has to do with the way how you are engineering your daily life. So that means that it's very important that you learn to set a very, very precise goals. And I make a clear example. So for example, I love this example of becoming a book author. So first of all, the new dialogue that you have to create for yourself when you wake up in the morning is, before you start to look at your emails, before you start to look in Instagram, the first thing is you just take a piece of paper and you write your 3 goals that you want to achieve on that day. And not just, I want to do this and this, but you have to be very specific. And I give you the hack. You write, I want to achieve, for example, I want to become a bestseller author by accomplishing, for example, I have to write at least 10 new pages of my book by the end of this day. So that means that the goal is very precise. I start to write at least 10 pages every day of my manuscript in order to submit the manuscript after 6 months to the publishing house. Yeah, and no matter what it happens, if something happened in your family, if someone gets ill, so of course you have to take care of this urgent situation, but this is the goal for your day, and there is no excuse. Yeah, there is no excuse for that. You stick to these goals. Okay, number 2 is you have to make sure that this goal is really meaningful to you and is related to the why that is behind that. So if you have to select and prioritize between goals, you will have at the beginning many goals that has to do with your social identity, but these are probably not the main ones. For example, if you are a wife, if you are a mother, probably your nature instinct will whisper in your mind, you have to do this for the children, you have to bring them to the school, you have to buy the new books and so on. These are important activities, but are not the goals for you for that day. Because again, for example, if you have the goal to become a bestseller author, which is meaningful for you, you have to set this goal at the beginning as with the highest priority. That means first of all, I write the 10 pages and then I go to the library and I buy the school books for my child. It sounds like not natural for women, but it's important for your personal development. So then I would say another tip is just to take care of your environment, which means if you are daily distracted by all the social media, if you are distracted by people that are constantly calling you, so you want to start to write your 10 pages, but that you always hear your WhatsApp is ringing, your iPhone is ringing, and you are distracted from this main activity, then you are on the wrong path. What is very important is you have to re-engineer your environment. For example, turning off your iPhone for an hour where you are focused on that activities, or maybe you turn off the signals of your WhatsApp so you are not distracted by all this blip, 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 so all the people are calling, yeah, and maybe you decided to maybe you can just take this as a reward. You look at the new Instagram photos only at the end of the day, yeah, and not at the beginning of the day. And then maybe the final point is just feel yourself accountable to make that this goal is happening. Don't give up. Don't delegate this to your husband, to your friend, to the coach. You are the person that is accountable for your future and no one else. Mm-hmm. And then this is very important. And this also gives, again, the feeling that you have your destiny in your hands. You are the architect of your life. This is what I also, it's also the title of my book, but I don't want to promote my book, but I really believe in that. You are the architect of your time and of your life. Yeah, thanks for this great question, Florence.
Thank you so much, Marco. This has been really a wonderful, inspiring session. You are the architect of your life. That is very, very important. Before asking for advice, for others' opinion, you have to know about your own opinion. This is very, very crucial, very important. So now that we have heard a lot of insight, tips, and advice, I would like our audience to hear from a woman, dear Rachel Giannecchini. Can you please help us to know about your thoughts, your opinion around this topic?
Well, my opinion is on completely different from my husband. He went from the medical side, and I'm doing it from the personal side.
Right.
And my opinion is to overcome inferiorities among women. We have to encourage them to becoming the best version of themselves. Because not only are women affected psychologically and emotionally, physically, and financially, sometimes it's a matter of being affected physically. I'll tell a short story. When I was small growing up, I've often gone to the countryside to visit my grandparents. And then I had like a brown, reddish, dirty color here. My grandmother loved this color. My cousin, on the hand, had very long, dark hair. And my grandmother always says to me, Rachel, you've got golden hair. So I used to ask, why did she say that? For her, it was giving me a compliment and putting down this cousin of mine. Later on in life, I realized what she was doing. She did it without knowing. Hence, my cousin grew up feeling inferior. I've done many things in my life. I've also worked as a beauty consultant. And during this time, I realized that some women were not mentally affected or psychologically, but physical. Their physical appearance allowed them to feel inferior in consideration to other women. And so I helped women becoming the best version of themselves in showing them how to present themselves. I also worked along with patients who had cancer after a cancer treatment. You know, women are down. And I would visit hospitals, and I would go in without all of this makeup. Most of the times I went with a headband, and I would help them through building up their confidence, adding a little bit of color to their faces. And at the end of the day, they felt better. So I believe not only should we, as individuals who are certain of ourselves, having very high esteem, think only of the medicine part of life, we have to combine both the physical, the emotional, the psychological aspects to help women. And my husband and I have thought about this, and during his workshop, I will be available in helping women to find their path to life, encouraging them and assisting them to become both the best version of themselves psychologically, emotionally, physically, and psychologically. And that's my part that I would love to play. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. So I understand that we need more than anything. We need women to come together, encouraging each other, and put together our efforts. And this is the only way we can achieve women empowerment and help them to be the best version they can be. Thank you so much, dear Rachel. I think that as we talked last time, we will have some inspiring, motivational session, and help women to achieve their empowerment and help them to be the best version they can be. So after the session, we'll see how we can plan that session as soon as possible. Thank you so much. I would like to invite Sonia to share with us her thoughts, opinions about also the topic. Welcome, Sonia.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Well, I cannot add anything more. Actually, it did say everything. To be honest, was absolutely a great workshop. Great, I will say, tips, advice, and it's true. Feeling inferiority in this complexity, it's more or less like feeling of being less than. Why should we feel less than? Because most of the time it's the education, environment, where we are, who we are. And obviously, as Marco said, is in the end of the day, we have to take ourselves accountable what we want to do and what we want to be in our life and start somewhere. We have to start somewhere. Doesn't it matter who you are, where you come from, what you have, even if you have nothing in your pocket, this will not change who you are. It will you're gonna change who you want to be, to become. And obviously you have to trust yourself, trust your skills. There is always a learning process, a learning journey, and having the tools of the great environment, meet the right people who really uplift you and make you feel that it's you. We trust who you are, we believe who you are, and we do our best to help you in your journey. Obviously, nothing is easy, but at least if you start the first steps, you are more closer to your goal than nothing. You know what I mean? So, well, I cannot add more, to be honest. He shared everything. So Marco shared the 9 steps. It's absolutely well shared. His beautiful wife Rachel said the same. They both actually shared both different aspects, and it could be physical, but it could be also mentally. But at the end of the day, it's who you want to be and how you want to be, and surround yourself with the right people to achieve your goal and uh, and be happy. Don't make it too hard. And take it easy. Just take it easy. It's a learning process, and and go with the flow.
Oh, great. Surround yourself with the right people to achieve your goals. Very important.
Yes,
There's
yes.
a way to go, and
Because
I think that
oh,
everything,
sorry, right?
I was saying that there is a way to go, and I think in everything, what is important is the decision. Please go ahead.
Yeah. What I wanted to say is feeling inferior in this environment can really affect your thoughts and also your behavior. That's very key to understand and be aware what's going on with ourselves. First of all, from mentally and of course physically. And then when you start to identify that, you know what supports you need to uplift that. Nothing is easy, as I said before. So you have to move somewhere. And this somewhere you have to identify what is it and who you want to
Oh,
be.
great. Hmm. So I think that as humans, there is a mistake. Almost a common mistake. We tend to, when you think before you decide, we tend to go for advice in our surroundings. And most of the time, many
Yes.
people, instead of encouraging you, they will discourage you. Why? Because somehow or sometime your vision is really bigger, and they find that this is not yours. You cannot achieve it. You cannot do this. You can't, you can. And from my experience, I can say that when you think about something, know that that is what you are meant to do or to be. There is a why in everything. So if you don't go with your soul, your spirit, and you got to seek others' opinion, 90% is that you won't get the right advice. You will go back discouraged and you give up on your dream before even starting. And I would encourage women, even men, to think twice. When you have an idea, when you have a project, before you seek for someone else's opinion, take your time. Ask the question why you are thinking about this and why this idea comes into your mind. That is the first thing. And given all what has been said, I can say this is to discover your why. And after discovering your why, know your purpose. For me, from my opinion and from talking from my experience, I have learned that your why and your purpose is unique. Draft your future, your vision, your goal, and seek assistance, because no one will be you. No one would accomplish what you were born to accomplish. And I think that Dr. Marco, Mrs. Rashe, and Sonia, together, we can put ideas, or I don't know, we can design a course to help women, not only women, even men, to go beyond their limitation, to help them how to know their why and how to discover their purpose and accomplish outstanding results. So I'm going to ask if there is any question from our audience. And hello, Janet, I see Pabalo, Margaret, and some
Hello.
dance. Hello.
Hello. Hi, Dr. Macron and Dr. Florence and everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me to this event. I don't have much to say. The only comment I have is that actually what they have told us is the truth. Most of the time we found like women, inferiority becomes like the change for us to develop, because you always feel
I couldn't hear her properly. Could she repeat the question she's just asked?
She was commenting on the session. I think that she lost she's back. Janet, can you hear me?
Yeah, I was okay. Sure, I can hear you. So I was saying that actually the inferiority makes women like not to achieve their dreams and to reach to their goals, because you always feel like you're not able, like I can't be like somebody else, like someone has done something, so it will make you feel like, for me, I'm not able to do this. So if we come to overcome that feeling, actually it will make us as lady to reach far and to achieve.
I think she's having network trouble, but did you get her, Marco?
Yeah. Now, what Jeanette is saying is really one of the crucial problems that once we want to start a new journey, when we want to transform ourselves, and you mentioned also that we make sometimes the mistake that we are seeking the approval, and we are seeking the confirmation by others. Now, this is really misleading. So first of all, because every one of us has his own perception of reality. So reality is not something that exists outside. Reality is what arises in our mind. And it's a game that you can never win, because people will perceive you, and people will have an idea of your personality on the base of what they see and what they perceive with their own mind. And we are also people that we are, let's say, a slave of our habits, of our thoughts. And there are, for example, very interesting experiments and data that show that when we are listening to other persons, we are never natural, because we are listening, and we before we start to listen, we have already the mental representation of this person that is in front of us. That means that our perception will be biased. So this is just our human nature. And you said this in a super way. You said, before you are seeking an approval or advice from others, be strong internally, be strong and have a clear idea of your vision and what you want to achieve, and just do it. And then you can have followers, or maybe you can have people that will probably try to bring you away from that idea. So, and if you want to win this game, it's like a mental game. Remember that you are the person. Probably you will feel alone at the beginning, but we have this community. We will support you. But don't seek advice, or don't seek approval for just asking. It's like just asking the permission to be different. And people, 90% of the people that will ask, they will say, you cannot do that, just because this is something against the mental model that have created about you. And if they feel that, there is also another important aspect. We are slave of our habits, of our mental habits. We tend to use the same mental habits when we are dealing with persons. For example, I go into the office and I need a lawyer's advice, and I go into the office of the lawyer, and I expect to be treated by this person as a lawyer. So now I make just an example. Let's start to see that the lawyer will say, Marco, you know, I'm also a funny person, and I am a lawyer, but I will have this evening comedy show because I can also make some jokes. I will say, what the hell? You are a lawyer, and I treat you as a lawyer. So, and that's why so the communication between human beings is important, but it's also very dangerous. So again, for Jeanette, is try to understand which is your why, create your vision board, and just do it again. And if you need support, we are there to help you in doing that.
And may I add, many times people give us answers because they are giving us their opinion of themselves. It's called projection. It's simple. It's, for example, if I'm saying I'm going to start running because I'd like to lose 5 pounds. If my neighbor doesn't think she can lose the 5 pounds, she's going to say, well, I think that's a difficult task. I think it's going to be very difficult. Do not think about it. Because if She cannot do it. She thinks or she implies, I cannot do it. So again, it's projection. And sometimes it's not because the person thinks bad, it's because he or she's not, it doesn't have the ability in doing it. And this is one of the things that I've often told people. If you're sure that that's what you want, go for it.
Yeah.
Without asking. Yeah.
Great. Powerful. No, any other questions, please? Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
This is Margaret, and I didn't have a question. It was really fully explained, but I just wanted to thank both of you for organizing this. It has really boosted my confidence as a female and with an ambitious goal, especially in entrepreneurship and health and everything. And yeah, I just wanted to say thank you, and it was very insightful. I learned a lot.
Thank you so much for your comments. We really appreciate your positive feedback. Pabalo, she said, this is so uplifting. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your comment. If you have a question, you are welcome to ask your question. If you have another comment, feel free. Mrs. Pabalo, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Yes, I'm very well. Thank you very much. This is just so uplifting. I've been sitting like a fly in the wall, listening to the conversations. Unfortunately, I'm at a point where I cannot switch on the video right now. But I just want to say thank you so much. I think this is so needed for future and current female leaders. I am very inspired. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you so much. So if there is no other question.
Maybe a question from Samro Yodna. Hi, Samro. Nice to see you here. Have you any question?
Samru, can you hear? Yes, she sent a message. Thank you for the very interactive session. I have a question associated with being too harsh on oneself and comparison with others. Sorry for the bad internet. I think that she's experiencing an network trouble, but yeah, her question is here. Did you get it, Marco?
Can you repeat it, please?
Okay, thank you for the very interactive session. I have a question associated with being too harsh on oneself and comparison with others. I think she needs advice from my understanding. I don't know if we have the same perception.
Yes, well, this is I think the common problem, the common challenge of everyone is maybe developing a new version of himself or herself, and then acting in an environment where people probably would not accept this new version. And I can just rephrase what I've said before. So first of all, every new version of yourself has as a legitimation, because once your brain is creating this new idea, it could be crazy for other one, but it's just because it's relevant for you. And we have in our genes, we have in our energetic field, we have all these possible versions of ourselves. So if the brain is whispering and is creating an alternative scenario, that it means that it matters for you. It can be something which is helpful to maybe release some pain, or it's maybe a new scenario that helps you to become more happy, to increase the secretion of your feel good feelings hormone. So it means that just stick to it. And again, it could be that so the first part of this transformational process is very important. It's just having a small plant that you have in your hands. The small plant is the new version of yourself. At the beginning, this plant is very weak and need everyday light and hours. And at the beginning, you have to keep these plants like hidden, and it's your hands. And don't show these new plants to other persons. You can show these new plants to persons that are your peer supportive group. For example, once we will have our workshop, we will create maybe a Facebook closed community where people can interact, but then you will be sure that you will get only positive support and nobody will criticize you because of this idea. And so the community, the engineering of the environment is very important. And answer your question, don't be afraid to be as you would like to be, because this is your right to be exactly as you are. And I say something more at the end, you are perfect as you are since the day that you are seeing the light of this earth. You are perfect from the beginning. Yeah, and you are the result of millions of evolutions. You are just perfect and you are good enough. But you can become better.
And I've often told people when I help them to get out of this sadness, these cancer patients, I've often said, each morning you're awakened, be honest with yourself, stand in front of the mirror and look at you just as you are and tell yourself, I love you, I am the best. And if you continue to repeat that, then you will see the beauty within you, because many a times we're comparing ourselves with others. And the fact is, I cannot compare myself with Dr. Florence. It's impossible. She is a different person. I am a different person. So you have to be honest with you and to accept you for who you are. And if you think I can only cook a banana, tell yourself I'm the best banana cooker. If you say I can build a house, tell yourself I am the best builder. It's not that I'm saying there aren't other good builders, but for me, I am the best person that I am. And if you continue to do that, after a while, once you've gotten up and you start doing whatever you are doing, you are so self-assured and your self-esteem just shoots to the sky. The sky's the limit.
Oh, perfect. So, Pabalo sent a comment. Yes, the power of positive self-affirmation.
Exactly.
Yeah, and this is, I think, this is the hard part of the work, of the journey. And we know, I think, that no matter whether we were born in Europe or in Africa or in Latin America, I think that for example, the educational school system is very similar all over the world. And unfortunately, we don't get these tools in the school. And really, I'm dreaming, or we are dreaming. So we have a dream. We have a dream where children get in the schools these tools to be educated, to develop positive beliefs in themselves. And what it happens in the school is exactly the opposite. You get into the school when you are 6 years old, and then you learn that if you don't stick to the rules, you get negative scores. And so with this with this system where the children are most of the time punished for something that they have done wrong, and they are not appreciated for the good things that they can do. So this is the way why most of people, when women and men, are just focusing on the wrong negative beliefs instead of creating every day new positive beliefs. And this is so just because the educational system has lacked of this strategy, we want to offer in our workshop this strategy. And if you want, our workshop is like the best life school that you can have in the world forever.
Perfect. Maxwell says, you don't overcome challenges by making them smaller, but by making yourself bigger.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's great. Yeah, yeah, bigger and stronger. Yeah,
Yes.
perfect.
Yes. And I always say that at the end of the day, you are the only who knows what works for you, what lifts you up, and you are ultimately your most important meaning designer of your life.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better.
So if there is no other question, I would like Marco to leave us with words of wisdom. Please, your last words. Then, dear Richard,
Yeah.
will.
Well, I don't know. I don't know whether I'm able to give some words of wisdom, but in any case, words from my heart of this incredible, really moving, emotionally moving and touching experience with you and with my wife and with the participant of this session. So just few comments. I know by experience, because what I'm saying to you today is all something that I felt in my life. So I have this under my skin. I've not read this in a book, but it's my life. And what I can tell to everyone, every transformational process is like an exotic fruit, which is terrible at the beginning, is bitter in the middle, but it's very sweet at the end. So, and if you take this fruit in your mouth, you will be at the beginning a little bit surprised. Probably you will tend to throw it away because it's too terrible. But you will, if you keep this in mouth, you will become slowly bitter, and at the end you will have a sweet flavor, and you will be like dependent from this fruit, and you will search for this fruit every day. So my final comment is really that I hope that I've been able to transmit my optimism and the hope that you can really make something different for your life. You can get rid of your inferiority complex, and you can create the best year of your life. I think really just maybe starting having this experience in our workshop. And if you are interested, we are now creating this workshop, but we thought that could have been a good idea just to collect interest of people. So if you feel motivated to join us, just send an email to Florence or to us, and we will just make a note. This does not bind you to pay whatever. It's just that we have a notes that you are interested, and once we will have the workshop finalized, we will come back to you and we will give you all the details. Again, it's not binding, it's just something that helped us, because we expect really many participants, and we have also only a very limited number of places. So we want to do this in a very small group. So if you send us an email saying, I would like to get more information, then you have that place, and it's promised. So again, from my side, thanks a lot, all the best, and maybe Rachel.
Yeah, I'd like to say to Dr. Florence, thanks for having me. And in closing, I'd like to tell our participants that becoming the best version of you and overcoming the inferiority complex, it is taking care of oneself. And that means mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Investing in oneself, giving one time, and accepting one even with the disadvantages, because nobody's perfect. If we are able to do that, we will see that life goes on, it becomes better, and we will develop this pride in ourselves, knowing that whatever the goal is, we can reach it. Once again, thanks for having me and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you so much, dear Sonia. Your last words.
Yes, thank you. Well, I will say my last word is, instead of being less, what about simply shifting feeling of being more, being better, a better version? Okay. Most of the time, we have to stop comparing ourselves to others and maybe seek our best version. Perfection doesn't exist, but create your own perfection, I would say, and seek to connect with the right community, with the right people, with the right experts, and don't go and talk to the wrong people in terms of if you seek to advise to the wrong person, you're gonna feel more complexity. That's not the case what you look for. So as I said, surround yourself with the right community, with the right people will help you to move toward your project, your best version of life, the way it is. And take it easy, because each steps it's a win. Okay? Whatever you do every day, it's a step to a win. Okay? There is no quantity, but it's quality. You have to remember there is no quantity, but quality. And you are here for a reason. So identify, I like to say this for the identify why you're doing this, why you want to become this best version, and work toward that direction. Okay? And every day, start your day with an empty canvas. And the end of the day, you realize that canvas has been filled. So if you really want to empower yourself, start with one step toward your goal. And there is this amazing video from Denzel Washington, and he says, fall forward, because if you fall back, you will never gain. But at least if you fall forward, you will gain something. You will see what's happening in front of you. And it's true.
Yeah.
Keep following forward. Doesn't matter. Keep working, keep moving, and at least you will get the results. It could be a tiny portion, but it's something than nothing. So hopefully people will get inspired, and I really, really believe that Marco and Rachel and you also, Lawrence, are going to create a beautiful program, a great workshop for really helping women in general, but also men, because they also deserve to be there, because they're also here to support women, to give them the rights, and they're here also. So we don't forget them. As you, Marco, look at you, you're here, so you also give the power to empower women.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Really looking to see you all again, and let's make it happen.
Thank you so much for your words of wisdom. Yes, you are, or we are the only one that hold the key to unlocking and unleashing our potential. I really thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for taking your time to be with us today, to share with us and our audience your inspiring and words, motivational and transformative. And I'm sure that women who are listening to us and those who will listen to this session, their life will never be the same again. We got the insight, the tips, everything we need to change and to start a new life is really displayed on this platform. So we hope to put together, as Sonia said, a powerful workshop to help women, not only women, but also men, to overcome their obstacles that prevent them to live their best life. I thank you so much for your time, and until we meet again, let me say, keep well, stay safe, be blessed. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.